Shalom, Yashrallah. This is your brother Dawadah, coming back at you with this here truth again. First and foremost, I want to give all praise unto all praise and honor unto YAHAWAH, BAHASHIM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHIM, Rachakodash. Double honors to the apostles and elders of great millstone that taught us this truth and that rule well. And salutation and much love for you, Akim, pushing this truth and sincerity on the four corners of the earth and enduring afflictions to feed and edify the elect. So I wanted to jump into this here topic. As I was watching this video that was put up by this YouTuber called Lisa Cabrera, and I would, pretty good channel. She goes through a lot of different things, and she brings out a lot of different news articles and things like that, and really, I do believe that she is aware that she is an Israelite, okay, but nevertheless, and the articles and things she's bringing out is pretty much like what we do when we go through the scriptures, but nevertheless, she's just hitting the points as far as just the news articles, and also just as another side reminder, this is part of what, some of you righteous, so-called righteous women, if you trying to find out what you could be doing and should be doing, you can be a helpmeet in this type of way, because there's a lot of different news clips and news articles that come out, so on and so forth, and it's a lot of different information to sit there and have to process. But again, you have people that go out there and put together video montages and things like that, there's a couple different channels that just put out, and these more than likely, I don't know if these people don't really come off as Israelites, even though they don't really speak themselves into the videos, or anything like that. They're not necessarily pushing Israelite doctrine or anything like that, but nevertheless, they're just showcasing, the wickedness is going forth, Same way like this Lisa Cabrera and her channel, and the things that she goes into, She's not out here trying to, go into the scriptures trying to teach you or try to usurp authority over the male and trying to teach him what's in the scriptures or whatever, whatnot. But nevertheless, as far as just bringing out, how these things are being played out in the news and in the media. All right. And so I'm going to use one of her videos today to, to pretty much bring out this here lesson, because this is something that, as I was listening to this video and these other couple videos, and also dealing with this, these couple different, there's a lot of these goddamn police shooting cases, but nevertheless, and I believe that we over like 200, maybe, that's mass police shootings, but nevertheless, or mass shootings, not police shootings, but nevertheless, with the police shootings, these things are running rampant right now. You just had the one case of, what's her name, Amber Geiger or something like that. She just went to trial, got like 10 years, eligible for parole after 5 years, and you seen our people out there cooning, all right? And then right over the weekend, I believe it was on Saturday, you had another situation that was pretty much identical to the Amber Geiger case, all right? Now, Amber Geiger, her story was that, she lived in the same apartment building as the dude that she wound up killing, right? However, she said that, she was coming home from work, I guess. She entered into the wrong apartment and seen old boy into the apartment, thought it was hers, and she wound up shooting and killing him. Now, from his perspective, he's just sitting inside of his house eating some ice cream, apparently, and just wound up getting shot, Now, in this scenario, it's pretty much like the same shit that's popping off, There was a neighbor who was a little concerned and called a non-emergency police hotline. It's not an emergency, and they was just calling for like what they call like a wellness check. They just want to make sure, hey, can you send a unit body to make sure everything is all right over there? I don't know, my neighbor's door is a little cracked, and I just want to make sure ain't nothing popping off over there. They called the cop, and then it's kind of shady. The cop parked like a block away, walked up, and noticed that there was a person inside the house, and called out to the person. Was like, hey, put your hands up. And, in the midst of telling the person to put their hands up, they wound up firing one shot off into the house, which wound up killing the Israelite woman that was inside, But nevertheless, and I believe that he's actually been arrested for this scenario. But nevertheless, and this is right off the cuffs of another situation happening out of Texas. Right now, I believe this is the same state where the people out in Texas, them Jakes out there in Texas pretty much got fed up with all the police killing and things like that. They wound up one of them actually went on a killing spree and shot a couple cops, killed a couple cops, so on and so forth. But nevertheless, we keep continuing to see these things going on and on. But nevertheless, these things are going to get worse. All right. This is who we dealing with. Esau is our enemy. All right. The so-called white man, the Edomites. All right. They have a strong hatred to you Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. All right. But nevertheless, a lot of our people are still caught up in, just like in the Amber Geiger case, that brother. Oh, I don't want her to go to jail. I hope the best for her. And she ain't even been, been sentenced for a whole goddamn week. And here we go. We got a repeat of the same thing in the same state with pretty much the same shit popping off. All right. This is what, and ultimately, a little more deeper than this. This is the Most High is putting a spirit on these goddamn Edomites to do this shit, man. You couldn't ask them, did they get up to go to work to do this today? Now you have some some actual like hardcore Edomites who that is what's in their mind and they plan to go do shit like that. But these, you'll be able to see this in their track record. You know, this is just some shit that they've always been doing, you know. But nevertheless, in a lot of these other scenarios, you know, you'll try to process, you watch the videotape of what happened, you try to process what's happening, all right, and you realize, like, oh, they just rolled up and it looked like a spirit just came over them and they just rolled up and just shot the motherfucker and just, that was it. You know, it wasn't nothing really exchanged or nothing like that. But nevertheless, you know, these are the things that's going to continue to happen because, wow, we dealing with the wicked, all right? This is Esau Edom. This is his MO, all right? Nevertheless, let me actually start there instead, you know, because this was prophesied about Esau, that this is how he was going to be towards his brother. Genesis 27:41. It says, and Esau, who is a so-called white man, hated Jacob, who is a so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, because of the blessing wherewith his father blessed him. And Esau said in his heart, the days of mourning for my father are at hand. Then will I slay my brother Jacob. All right. So that's what Esau said in his heart, that in his mind, that was his MO. He was going to kill his brother Jacob. All right. And these words of Esau, her elder son, was told to Rebekah, and she went and called Jacob, her younger son, and said unto him, behold, thy brother Esau, as touching thee, does comfort himself, purposing to kill thee. All right. So this is how Esau pretty much get off. This is what's going to make him sleep well at night, knowing that he, you know, put you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans to death, all right, or some kind of way harmed you or hindered you, you know, hindered your way of life, you know. This is what's inside of the so-called white man. This is his MO and his you know, really this became his heritage because, hey, his long, lifelong legacy has been what? Creating wickedness across the planet Earth, but ultimately a perpetual hatred for his brother Jacob, all right. But nevertheless, we're going to get pretty much into these police shootings and things like that. I'm gonna let some of this here video play, and then we're gonna get into some of these here scriptures. But nevertheless, in the video, you can also hear about how all these police officers are lying and things like that. But again, this isn't nothing new. This is what's inside the Edomites. This is why it's important to understand who your enemy is. All right, and understand all the things about him. Instead, you know, there's certain levels to this. You know, on the lightest level, you know what I'm saying. We all grew up, you know what I'm saying, with the phrase, yeah, the man. Oh, the man, this and that, you know, that's like the lightest phase, man. Oh, man, this system or the man is I'm working hard for the man or whatever, whatnot, you know. And but when you hear Jake talking like that, you ask him sometime, well, who is the man? You know, it'll be really hard for him to come out of their own mouth to say the white man or the so-called white man, all right? But then, you know, once they understand, because with them just saying the man, they can't really pinpoint and look at who their enemy is. Just like how here in America, you could say, oh, the so-called white man here in America is the enemy, or these Jewish bankers are the enemy, or so on and so, you know, you could say a small group, the elites are the enemy, all right? But ultimately, you have to understand it. It's not just the elites here in America. It's not just the so-called Jewish bankers here, or the so-called white man here in America, man. It's the spirit that's inside of all these, how do I say, these descendants of Esau Edom, the Edomites. This is their heritage, all right? This is what they're going to do. This is inside of them, all right? They was created to be the wicked, all right? They no matter where they at, no matter what so-called country they claim to be from, they still Edomites at the end of the day, all right? And this is what's inside of them to do, all right? So I'm going to play a little bit of this here video, and then we're going to grab some scriptures.
Ladies and gentlemen, policing is a cancer in America. It's a cancer. And it's a cancer that's allowed to spread and wreak havoc to everything that is even good in the country. It becomes a cancer to it too. So this came out in USA Today.
Real quick, talking about being a cancer. All right, this is Habakkuk 2:5. Yea, also because he transgresses by wine, he is a proud man, neither keepeth at home, who enlarges his desire as hell, and is as death, cannot be satisfied, but gathereth unto him all nations, and heapeth unto him all people. So look, he can't be satisfied. He's bringing everybody towards him, all right, bringing everybody up under him, but for what reason? Let's find out. This is Revelation chapter 6 and verse, we're going to start at verse 4. And there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth. All right. So look, he was the type of cancer, you know, when you get cancer, all right, you have a body, a well-able body, all right, then you get cancer or some kind of disease interjected inside of your body. Guess what's going to happen? It's going to start deteriorating. You're taking away so-called that peaceful state of your body. Now you put into what they call dis-ease, because why? You now have a disease or a sickness, right? Illness, all right? Bad times, all right? So this is what Esau's purpose was, to take peace from the earth, man. He was a cancer. He spread everywhere. He's like, his death can't be satisfied. Just like if you don't get cancer treated inside your body, it does what? It tends to spread and start destroying a lot of the cells inside of your body, all right? It says, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and they should kill one another, and there was given unto him a great sword. Now, going back to Genesis 27, all right, we started at what, verse 41. You can go up a verse, and that'll tell you when Esau was given his blessing, it said that he was going to live by a sword. This is the same person we're talking about, all right? So for Esau to gain anything on this here side, how was he going to gain it? He was going to gain everything that he got by way of the sword. You know, he got two swords. He got that deceptive ass tongue, all right? His doctrines, his philosophies, deceiving people. Then he actually got a physical sword, man. All right, his weaponry and things like that, all right? Let me jump down a little bit. Verse 8, and I looked, and behold, a pale horse, and his name that sat upon him was Death, and hell followed with him. All right, again, that's bro. All you bringing is dis-ease, bro. You spreading like a goddamn cancer. You need to be eradicated. All right, and power was given unto him over the fourth part of the earth to kill with the sword, with hunger, and with death, and with the beasts of the earth. And right now, this is what you're seeing right now. Esau's on a goddamn rampage. I mean, you can really look at it this way: the American government is on a rampage against its own citizens, man. All right, you got basically one of the American governmental branches of military, which would be their police force, all right, one of their branches, all right, basically patrolling the citizenship of America. But what, they gunning them down as well too, man. All right, they just unlawfully gunning them down, and we've seen multiple scenarios of this. From the one dude, I believe his name was Eric Gardner, the one that they always be saying that he was selling loose cigarettes, which that was something that homeboy did. He just sold loose cigarettes. He wasn't selling loose cigarettes when he got choked out. He didn't get choked out for selling loose cigarettes. In fact, there was a fight that had broke out, and he wound up breaking the fight up. But then he was the one that was choked out. You know, Sandra Bland. I forgot if she didn't want to put a seatbelt on. Or no, I believe she got pulled over for a seatbelt infraction. All right, and then the police officer got mad when homegirl, what did she do? She decided to light a cigarette and not put it out. So homeboy got pissed and I believe drug her out the car. All right, what's his name? Sterling. Damn, I can't think of his first name. But homeboy that was shot inside the car because he had a concealed weapons license, and I believe he actually had a concealed weapon in the car, which he told the police about. Told the police where it was at. All right, you know, and there wasn't no scuffle about, you know, whatever's going on or whatever, whatnot. He just peacefully, calmly told him about it. You know, and that was the one where the girlfriend was real calm beside him and wound up videotaping the whole situation. You know, I mean, you have plenty of situations like this where the police go in. Again, you had the Amber Geiger case. She rode up and shot Jake while he was sitting on his own couch in his own house, man. All right, out here in Texas, man. Also with this chick out here in Texas, man. She got shot in her own house for having her own door cracked. I mean, it could have been hot. She could have had the damn door open. She could have been cooking some shit that had her whole house stank, and so she had to air the house out. Who knows why she had the goddamn door open? You know what I'm saying? But nevertheless, that's not a right for the police to just stroll up into somebody's house and start shooting them in their own house, man. Then they want to claim that, oh, she might have had or she did have a gun in the house. All right, but what? It don't mean just because she had a gun in the house, she had the gun on her. I mean, that is her house. I mean, what better place to have a gun? All right, so what? You can't own guns now? And if you can own guns, where's the best place for you to probably to have your gun? You know, there's a lot of places you can't carry your gun. All right, and we talking about in other states. We're not talking about in Texas. Because goddamn it, in Texas, you can damn near drive a tank down the street with goddamn rocket launchers on the side. You know what I'm saying? I mean, it really ain't no law to what type of weaponry you can pretty much have in Texas if it hadn't changed. And plus, it's an open carry state. So literally, you can walk down the street with like AR-15s, rocket launchers. You can goddamn drive a tank down the road, you know, fully armed and everything. You know what I'm saying? So what's the point of you know what I mean? If you can do that walking down the street with a goddamn AR-15, why can't you have a goddamn handgun inside your own house, you know, to protect your own house from whatever's going on? But nevertheless, from just having a door cracked and a neighbor being concerned about the person that was in the house, this person wound up being dead, you know. The cop goes up and asks, put your hands up or whatever, whatnot. All of a sudden, you know, one shot is fired and the person winds up dead, you know. But nevertheless, let me continue on a little bit more with this here video.
Of no surprise to anyone, hundreds of police officers have been labeled liars. Some still help send people to jail, so they have a reputation of lying, not only on police reports, but in court, like we saw Amber Geiger do. And these folks are still allowed to remain police officers and still make arrests, even after they have a clear and known reputation for lying.
Now let me read the scripture first. This is Zechariah chapter 11, verse 5. Whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty. All right. Just like, hey, ultimately, going into slavery and stuff like that, that's like a goddamn Jedi mind trick. All these Edomites over here would say, this is our country, or my forefathers fought for this country. We, so on and so forth. They died for this country. Well, ask them the question, who did they fight and who did they conquer to get this here land? Oh, well, my forefathers didn't kill the Native Americans. That wasn't them that did that. Well, who were your forefathers the ones that brought the so-called Negroes over here into slavery? No. My forefathers wasn't here then yet either. So then how the hell and who the hell did they fight to take this here land? They'll tell you how their foreparents fought for this and how this is such their land and so on and so forth. But yet and still, when it comes to the atrocities that was done to the Israelites on this here land, all right, they want to say that they have they didn't have a hand in none of that stuff, man. Oh no, that wasn't our family. We came over way later than that, Oh, we came over here as slaves too, Well, then, if you came over as an indentured servant, who the fuck was you fighting to get this land? Because at that point, the Edomites was already over here, man. All right? But nevertheless, in this type of scenario where we're talking now with these corrupt police officers, all right, now she's going to go into this about this one dude. I believe he was found of basically violating or being caught red-handed like 35 different times, but still allowed to have this here job. But nevertheless, in just a general perspective, how they talking about all these police officers have been lying, all right, just to get people locked up. Imagine it's your regular job. What happens if you wind up, let's say, screwing up on your job, multiple times, right? Let's say, hell, certain, let's just keep it to a real serious job, because, I mean, you can work at McDonald's and keep screwing up somebody's order and you might have your job for a while. But, being a police officer with a goddamn gun and shit, that's a real serious job, So let's compare apples to apples. Let's say that you are a pharmacy tech, right? And you're in charge of distributing people's medications and pills and stuff like that, right? Now you have a person who has, let's say they're on a HIV treatment, right? Or cancer treatment, right? Now you want, instead of giving them their damn treatment for the shit that they got, right? You wind up giving them birth control, or you wind up giving them Tylenol, or you wind up giving them something for diarrhea because you fucked up the medicine. You might have just been having a bad day. You might have been at work hungover. Somebody might have texted you. You might have been looking at your phone. All these things might have caused you to wind up screwing up the prescriptions. 9 times out of 10, you would probably lose your job over that one incident because you gave the wrong person, the right person, the wrong medicine. All right, and a lot of times this could actually kill you if you want to take let's say you need a blood thinner or something like that, and they give you something to make your blood clot. They give you the wrong medication. It could actually wind up killing you. So nevertheless, if you had if that was your job, or a heart surgeon or something like that, and you're supposed to be going in let's say what do they call them people? People who do surgery, right? You're supposed to go in and remove the left lung or some shit, or go in and do something to the left lung and you cut them open on the right side and remove the right lung or some shit like that. You would be fired immediately for that shit. You know what I'm saying? If you have malpractice or something like that, or any kind of crazy shit like that, you wind up losing your job. But look, in a lot of cases they really don't, because you have a lot of these Edomites who get caught up like this. But you hear a way more of an outcry, and people would really understand, like, yo, man, you took, this person had one lung that was fucked up, and you went and you fucked up the other lung. So now both lungs is fucked up because of your medical malpractice. All right. But nevertheless, when it comes to these police officers, they're allowed to keep getting away with more and more things. And it's not just simple mistakes that they're making. Oh, I made an honest mistake. Yeah, people make honest mistakes. We all human. But nevertheless, a lot of these police officers are how do I say, they're lying on their certain things. You know how they would say, oh, they planted drugs on me or whatever, whatnot. Yeah, they do these things for quotas, man. You go to a small town, go out to these small towns, these small little country towns and shit like that, man. Like where my grandma lives at and stuff out there like that. They only pretty much, they city only got like one red light. It's a small ass town, and shit, they got like, I don't even know if they got a police department. They got a sheriff's department with a sheriff and maybe 2 deputies. This is a really small place, right? But nevertheless, Slot, give me a second. When you go out to these small places like this and stuff like that, you know, you're able to how do I say, you're able to see how these things are actually played out. You know, you for certain things you just know that these things aren't gonna have a, you know, things aren't gonna change. You know, out there, matter of fact, out there where my grandma lives, you have the same goddamn sheriff. This one sheriff has been the same sheriff since I was born, man. All right, and I'm like 30 something. You know what I'm saying? So there's been the same one sheriff deputy, but nevertheless, they're out there lying on a lot of these different scenarios. You know, and again, in those small town places, you'll hear a lot of these stories like, yeah, they lied on me, they planted this on me, they planted that on me, or another thing they do out there is at the end of the month, you know, because the police, they just pretty much lazy and they sit around and do nothing all goddamn month. All right, at the end of the month, they wind up having goddamn little roadblocks and shit like that in certain places, and they just start writing tickets to damn near everybody for all kind of little things, you know. Oh, you know, you have a tag light out or something like that, or all kind of different things. You know, they just sit there and write you simple kind of tickets just because to get their quota up, or they'll claim that you DUI or whatever, whatnot. You know what I'm saying? And just writing all kind of tickets just to get their quota up, you know? Oh, you were speeding, whatever, whatnot, just to get their quota up, you know, because they know that you're not going to fight it in court, and they're pretty much going to win, all right? But nevertheless, I'm going to get back to this here video, but let me read this again. Zechariah 11:5, whose possessors slay them, all right, and hold themselves not guilty, and they that sell them say, blessed be Yahawah, for I am rich, and their own shepherds pity them not. And, you know, that's almost like a scenario like what it's like now. You know, you have our people that'll rise up and be like, oh, Black Lives Matter and march and protest, but really they ain't really doing nothing about it, man. All right, because these you know, what is the message that's being sent out to these Edomites and these police officers from Jake? You know, with the Dylan Roof situation, with the church shooting, they out there crying and praying and forgiving him, and the Amber Geiger case, the brother going up there on court, and, you know, national media talking about, oh, I want to forgive him, I want to forgive her, I hope that she lives, I hope the best for her, I don't want anything wrong with her. You know, all these different things are just further encouraging this type of behavior from these Edomites, letting you know, and they know that, how do I say, nothing's going to happen in retaliation, you know? Just imagine if you was going to school and you had an older brother and somebody, you know, somebody kept picking on you on and on, you know, kept picking on you over and over and over again, you know? And one day, you know, your older brother step in and is like, look, man, you keep messing with my little brother, you're going to have to deal with me. Now, the bully decided that he want to keep messing with you. Now, your older brother go over there and just knock his ass clean out, leaving with a bloody nose and a black eye and shit, crying, all kind of shit like that. Now, do you think that bully or any other bully going to want to start messing with you again because they know what your older brother is going to do to them? No, they'll be like, nah, fuck nah, we ain't going to bully him because we don't want no problems with his older brother. That would stop that immediately, because why? That judgment was executed speedily and in the sight of not only him but the other people around to set the tone, all right? Just like growing up around Jake, man, sometimes one of your siblings or your cousins that got in trouble, y'all all got in trouble to teach the other ones, y'all don't walk down this path either. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to go ahead and beat your ass now, so I ain't got to beat you when you get to it. So just because they went ahead and did it, all y'all go ahead and line up. So all y'all know not to do this no more, right? But nevertheless, when it comes to these police shootings and things like that, you know, you have the same reaction from Jake. Oh, we want to forgive them, so on and so forth. We just want to live and love and come together, so on and so forth, you know? And from the police officers, they showed no remorse. They say, well, we were investigating. We did all we can do. We didn't find no foul play. The police officer was sent home on administrative paid leave, all right, and moved to a different job or a different precinct, and then put right back out on the street, man, all right? But nevertheless, let's continue on with this here video.
All the time. Why is this acceptable? Why are we not rising up and saying no? I'm not going to accept anything that this cop write down. He's got a reputation for not telling the truth. And you can't use that, well, yeah, they did lie, but they're telling the truth about this. Don't come to us with that lame-ass shit. You know that's...
Just like she's going into, whose possessors slay them and hold themselves not guilty. Just, again, I believe in that Amber Geiger case. They wound up giving the old boy a drug test and shit like that to see if he was on drugs. Like, what the fuck did he do wrong? Besides, I mean, obviously he did something wrong, you know, dealing with the spiritual realm. You know, this is all judgment from the Most High. But ultimately, in the carnal sense, the fuck did he do wrong? He was not at the wrong place at the wrong time. You can't be at no right or place and at your house on your own couch, watching TV, doing some shit where you ain't fucking with nobody. You know, but then all of a sudden, because she goes into the wrong apartment, they drug test him. You see what I'm saying? They always flip it all the way around. It's like, yo, we the victim, and y'all are, you know, y'all are basically the enemy. Y'all are the ones that are causing these problems, you know? They're not going to hold themselves guilty. They're going to make you seem like you're the one that caused all these problems, man.
Stupid when you're saying it. You know that shit is dumb. So, ladies and gentlemen, this came out October 15th, 2019. Rivat Vera should not have gone to prison. One night in 2016, Houston police pulled him over for a missing license plate and told him to walk a straight line. Vera said that he hadn't dropped a drink and that he passed a sobriety test. Officer William Lindsay said otherwise. At trial, jurors were told about Lindsay's expertise evaluating drunken drivers, which these cops are not experts in that. They are nothing but mere police officers, ladies and gentlemen. They tried to say that same thing about David Armstrong being an expert in everything. No, that motherfucker ain't nothing beyond a cop. Okay? Nothing beyond a cop. Not an expert in anything. Officer William Lindsay said otherwise. All right, so at trial, they were told about Lindsay's expertise evaluating drunken drivers. They were told about Vera's 2 previous DWIs. What jurors weren't told, Officer Lindsay had been found guilty for misconduct.
Hang on. So look, when they in court, they go to the person who was arrested. They go back into their history. Oh, he had a previous DUIs. He had previous this. He had previous that. Painting him as if he's a villain. You know, they're like, well, shit, I might have had a previous DUI. Maybe a year ago, 2 years ago. Fuck it. If I ain't gonna say you had a DUI last week. You probably wouldn't be driving. But nevertheless, you know what I'm saying? You might have had a previous DUI, but whatever. What does that have to do with right now? Are you trying to say because he had a DUI in the past that he's gonna be DUI right now? You know, and some people are like, yeah. Okay, let's not be a hypocrite. Now let's listen to what the other guy's background is like. The actual police officer's background is like. Oh, shit.
Conduct in his department 35 times. Now listen to this. He was found guilty of misconduct 35 times within the police department, and they continued to let him go out there and police people and make
35 times, bro. 35 times you've been caught doing police misconduct, but yet, you know, they allow him to continue his job. They allow him to still go to work, still arrest people, or not even arrest people, harass people. All right, this is an habitual offender. This isn't, again, like I was saying earlier, sometimes I believe that the Most High really be putting a spirit on these motherfuckers that just, you know what I'm saying, just kind of black out and just go do that, you know, bring on that judgment or whatever, whatnot, and that's just it. You know, but then the so-called career criminals, the ones that is just, they just being, you know, how you say, you know how you say these goddamn white supremacist, goddamn Edomites type of shit. You know, we just want to kill some niggers, them type. They will have a background to this shit. Just like this dude. You'd have been investigated 35 times, bro, for misconduct. Ain't no telling how many times that you actually did this shit. You know what I'm saying? Because if you was investigated 35 times, they, you know, the police don't normally investigate their own people. So how many times was it before they investigated your ass the first time? Before they stop how many people was arrested? How many people was misconduct done unto? You know what I'm saying? And how many of these people who didn't want to say anything about it because it's like, well, I'm fighting against the police. They ain't going to believe me anyway. You know what I'm saying? Or 2, they got more resources than I do. I ain't really got the resources to fight this. Or 3, if I do this, they're going to further harass me and further, you know, because I'm in a fucked up position or whatever, whatnot. And they can just keep fucking me over some kind of way. All right. How many times did this happen before they actually gave him his first investigation into misconduct? All right. How many times in between the first one and the second one and the rest of them, all right, were swept under the rug, you know what I'm saying, whatever, whatnot. And I believe in this same article, they was like, well, the police chief said to it, well, none of this was actually, we didn't, you know, take any of this into consideration. Oh, he had a clean record when asked about him, even though his record actually shows something different. All right, but nevertheless, you know, again, they would say, oh, we want to check his background to see what kind of person he was. You would check the guy who was suspected of DUI, and I believe they said he got pulled over for not having a front license plate. Like, motherfucker, if you ain't got no front license plate on your car, that's not really an indicator of you being DUI. I mean, it could be, but I don't really know too many people who get that fucked up drunk and decide to take the license plate off their car and go driving. You know what I'm saying? But nevertheless, you know what I mean? Like, yo, you could have just gave him a simple traffic violation, you know, depending on what state you are in. Some states require you to have a front license plate, but you could have gave him a simple traffic violation. But yet and still, we already understand what this is like, man. Police pull you over. Oh, we saw you swerving or whatever, whatnot. Your tent was a little too dark. or you have a tail light out, a tag light out, or whatever, whatnot. That's how they always start out, just to get you on the side of the road. Then they want to start, how they say, searching your vehicle. Oh, there's a strange odor coming out of your car. What do you mean a strange odor coming out of my car? I don't smell nothing strange coming out of my car. Yeah, we need to check your car. Then they start checking through your car and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? And they don't ever find them. But I remember plenty of times of my car getting searched, and these motherfuckers like damn near tearing through my goddamn car, pulling the panels off of my car and all kind of shit, looking in the engine bay of my car. I went to my dad's wedding in Georgia one year, and you know, seeing my family I hadn't seen in a while. They actually my aunts had bought me some outfits, you know, some new clothes and shit like that, right? And they was still on the hang. Like if you go to the dry cleaners and get your clothes out the cleaners, they were on the hangers with the little clear plastic black bag on top of it, right? I get pulled over. First of all, when I approach the police, they on the side of the road. There's 3 cops, and they got another car full of Jake pulled over searching their car. And I pass by them, and them getting down the road. Now they get on the highway and start speeding down, tracking me down, right? And now I admit I was driving a Bubble Caprice with some rims on it and shit. Typical at that point in time, dope boy car, right? However, you know, and I was like probably like maybe 18 or 19, right? But nevertheless, they pulled me over, and they was like, and I actually had all my windows down because I was approaching them, and I knew that my windows was illegally tinted. But nevertheless, I had all my windows down, so they wasn't going to be able to tell, first of all, because I was riding past them. Second of all of my windows was down, right? I still get pulled over for having too dark tint. Now, it's broad daylight. All of my windows are down. I'm still getting pulled over for my tint being too dark. They never did once check. They just told me that's why they pulled me over. But they never did check the how dark my tint was or anything like that. They immediately wanted to go to start searching my car. They waited for backup to come. Immediately started searching my car. Went through my whole car. My grandma fixed me a plate to, you know, take on the road or whatever, whatnot. Oh, they went all inside of my goddamn plate of food and left food. My whole plate was turned over in my backseat, and food strode all over my backseat as if I'm going to hide some drugs and a plate of food on a styrofoam plate, you know? And they go in my trunk, and they ask me about the clothes. Though, where'd you get these clothes from? What are you doing with these clothes? I'm like, motherfucker, I'm coming to see my relatives for a wedding, and I ain't seen them in some years, so they bought me some gifts. It's brand new clothes. The tags are still on it. Motherfucker, I'm traveling. Don't you see the clothes here? Like, what's wrong with me traveling with this? Had my shit all out on the side of the road. Called the K9 dog. I was like, yo, dog, y'all got me on the side of the road for an hour and a half. Didn't find anything, but you originally pulled me over for my tints being too dark, right? And I was just like, this is some bullshit. Never even wrote me a ticket or nothing. This is just the harassment. But nevertheless, this is what they do to try to find something. They start with some little small situation. You know, oh, you're missing a front license plate. Oh, now we think that you're a little DUI, you stuttering, you look a little agitated, you look a little excited or whatever. Yeah, I'm being pulled over by police and being harassed, and you assuming some shit that ain't even true. I'm nervous. You motherfuckers be killing everybody left and right. And ain't nobody gonna say shit about it. Why wouldn't I be nervous, man? All right? We know how you people get down. But nevertheless, continuing on.
Arrest. This is the problem in policing every day in America. He was investigated for padding his overtime, so he's even lying on his timesheet, even lying about the amount of time that he's working. But they let him stay. This gotta be a white cop. Gotta be. By manipulating DWI arrest, so he would have to be called to testify, among in many other violations. So he's a dirty pig. Dirty pig.
And she's going to go into, I'll just kind of stop it there. They kind of go into some other, let me see, some other things as well too. But this is Lisa Cabrera's channel, you know, and she has some pretty good things on there. So I'm going to just jump back to the scriptures. But nevertheless, hey, homeboy was investigated 35 different times for police misconduct. All right. And then that was never brought into question. All right. But homeboy's over here, you know, he's just being corrupt all the way around, man. But they don't say anything about this, man. This is just what's going on with this here, the state of these Edomites here, man. They're not going to police each other because this is what, especially in their eyes, man. They're like, well, I mean, you like, come on, man. This is like you being in the American military, all right, and you over there in the Middle East, and you wind up killing one of them Arabs or some shit like that. They're like, who really give a fuck? They Arabs. We over here trying to kill them anyway. You know what I'm saying? But if you kill one of these American soldiers, it's off with your head. You see what I'm saying? That's how pretty much how they treat Jake over here in America, man. All right. But nevertheless, you know, oh, and also they was talking about how Yeah, they write these tickets for DUI because they know they got to go to court. And if the police show up, for one, they like, well, shit, if the, the police show up, the victim or whatever, whatnot, they'll be like, well, shit, it's going to be his word versus my word. And 9 times out of 10, they're going to take the police words, all right, because they think that they're all upstanding citizens. But this is a person who has a tainted criminal record. I mean, not really a criminal record because, I mean, they didn't really prosecute him on any of these charges of this 35 times of police misconduct, all right? He's still allowed to have his job and still allowed to go out there and so-called be an authoritarian figure and tell you what's right and what's wrong, but yet he out here committing wickedness, man. All right, this is what these Edomites do, all right? But I'm going to go over here in Psalm 73. I'm going to go to verse 5. It says, they are not in trouble. They're not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued like other men, all right? So look, these police officers can go around, a lot of these Edomites in all kind of different cases. That's why when you see these mass shootings and things like that, these Edomites always get off, man. They always, they had some kind of mental illness. Oh, they would suffer from being from an affluent neighborhood or a rich neighborhood. You know what I'm saying? Or these kids, they struggle from depression or not having their father in the house. But yet and still, whenever you see Jake, you know what I'm saying, and Jake doing some whatever, Jake stole a candy bar, and they say the same, well, where was his father at? This and that. He needs to go and have all these different things going on to him. He needs to be locked up and rehabilitated. Whereas these Edomites, they need to have some kind of mental counseling and maybe some probation and put on some kind of psychotropic drugs. All right, they don't serve time. Amber Geiger, trespassing. How you say she was what? She fucking trespassing, breaking and entering into somebody's goddamn house, illegally discharging a firearm. How do you say misusing police? How you say misusing police property for your own will because she was off work. So, I mean, she still, I believe, fired her goddamn police issued service sidearm. All right, so like, yo, dog, there's a lot of crimes being committed here, man. You basically just, it's trick or treat time. You done put on your cop outfit and just went renegade on the nigga, basically. You know what I'm saying? You wasn't even on duty. It wasn't like you got a police call there. You just rolled up into the wrong niggas. How long have you been living there? How long have you been going to your house? And why would you give this guy a drug test? What kind of drugs was she on not to know what fucking apartment she live in? All right? You know what I'm saying? I go to, in my job, I go to service different Edomites' houses, right? And it's pretty much the same houses every week, Every Monday I go to like the same houses, Tuesday, so on and so forth, And sometimes I might have to park in a little different spot here or there, which might throw off, my so-called muscle memory of knowing exactly, all right, I just pulled up here, I'm going to just go walk on this side, boom, 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 right? Now, sometimes I get a little thrown off at the house, because of where I park at. And as I'm walking on the side of the house, I'll notice, I'm like, wait a minute, this ain't the right house. I need to go on the other side. That's where the house is at. I'm one house over or whatever, whatnot. Now, these are houses that I'm just going to at my job. This is not a house that I go to every day, multiple times a day, like my own home. This is somebody else's house. If you can remember somebody else's house, you walking up to somebody else's house like, oh, shit, this ain't even the house that I normally come to. You should know your own goddamn house, man. I'm pretty sure that you had to, whether you took some stairs, an elevator, however you got to the floor that you was on, you should have known, like, wait a minute, this ain't where this ain't my house. And the door was already open. Come on now. And then what, the criminal gonna break in your house and sit on your couch and eat your ice cream? You know what, fuck it, I ain't even gonna steal the ice cream. I'm gonna just sit here and eat it and watch their free cable. Come on, actually, not gonna bullshit, that actually happened to us when I was a little kid. But the person who was breaking into our house and stealing our food and playing our video games and shit was a kid that lived like in the same building as us. Like we lived in a multi-family unit house. And this was a little bitty ass kid. The little nigga was poor. We was all poor, but this nigga, didn't really have too much food. So he would come and snack on our shit. But nevertheless, it was a kid. Ain't nobody gonna really break into your goddamn house and just chill up in your house like that, man. Unless they on some drugs, man. All right? But nevertheless, continuing on, Psalm 73 and verse 5, it says, they are not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued like other men. All right? Therefore, pride capacity them as with a chain. Violence covereth them as a garment. So like I was saying, man, if you being a little brother was at school and you was getting bullied, and then, you told the bully to stop fucking with you, or your big brother gonna come through, and your big brother come through and knock this nigga out, leave him bloody, black eyes, swole lips, and all kind of shit like this, really fuck this nigga up, right? Nobody else is gonna fuck with you. You see what I'm saying? They ain't gonna really fuck, because they don't want to have to deal with your big brother. But because everybody, the whole school is seeing this bully you all damn day long, there's nothing happening, what you think the next so-called bully in the making gonna do? He gonna come fuck with you too. Because why? Because ain't nobody, basically, I can get that too, but because basically judgment isn't cast out on their ass, all right, then, they think that they can keep going on and on and on with this here wickedness, So they just continue on until till one day, ultimately, the Most High is gonna bring down that judgment, man. All right. Let me Well, shit, let me go to verse 11 and 12. And they say, how doth the Most High know? Is there knowledge in the Most High? Because they're able to so-called get away with this stuff, right? Behold, these are the ungodly who prosper in the world. They increase in riches. And, you know, sometimes you can sit there and be like, yeah, this is an unfair world. The so-called white man do all this here wickedness, and he still get to prosper, or the wicked keep going. Yeah, but ultimately the wicked going to get cut off. Ultimately, all right? Matter of fact, what's the... oh, that's not in this here. We can get that too, but... we can get that too. But nevertheless, let me go back up to... verse 5 and 6, it says, they are not in trouble as other men, neither are they plagued like other men. Therefore, pride compasses them about as a chain. Violence covereth them as a garment. All right, so they continue on doing their wickedness because they ain't really being checked. Nobody's ever checking them and putting them in order to do anything. It's like you got a little badass kid, you know what I'm saying, that's doing something that they ain't supposed to be doing, but if ain't nobody telling them not to do it, put that down. They're going to continue to keep playing with it, you know? Where is that? Oh. Yeah. So we was just reading because, you know, they keep doing these things because why? They're not, you know, they're not being judged. They're not being punished. Nobody's bringing down judgment on them. Nobody's so-called saying anything about it, you know. This says Ecclesiastes chapter 8, verse 11. It says, because sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily. All right, because you basically righteous judgment. You know, you see somebody, these police shootings, you know, unarmed Jake keep getting shot for no reason. They just so happen to be at the wrong place at the wrong time. And oh, the police might have messed up. They might have did this, but the police didn't do anything wrong. And really, they're not holding themselves guilty. They always coming up with any kind of excuse. Again, I keep going back to the Amber Geiger case. Why the fuck did y'all give this nigga a drug test? What did he do that warranted him? What action did he do that warranted him of having a drug test? What movements did he make? He didn't really make no movements. Homeboy was inside his house on a couch. This motherfucker was startled. He probably wasn't even startled. He probably got shot before he even realized somebody walked up into his fucking house. You see what I'm saying? So what action, what did he say, what did he do to warrant you investigating him as if he was a criminal? Why would you have to check his system to see if he had any drugs in it? Even if he did have all the drugs in the world, let's say this motherfucker was sitting at home sniffing cocaine off the fucking coffee table when the police walked in. The fuck did you go in there and shoot him for? Like, it wasn't like he was in his own apartment. Wasn't like he was threatening and endangering nobody else's life. Like, bitch, you wouldn't even have known about this if you wouldn't have opened my goddamn door. All right, but because why? But because judgment isn't cast out on these police officers for doing things like this and just being wicked like this, they continue to go on. Again, what is the message that's being sent out? All right, what's the message being sent out? Especially like when you have people like Donald Trump making all these racist remarks, go back home, or we should just kill them, shoot them all, whatever, whatnot. Then you have these white supremacist terrorists, these Edomite terrorists running around committing these mass shootings, and these so-called armed terrorists, the police department running around shooting unarmed Jake. All right, what is the message that's being put out? Oh, it's okay to go ahead and shoot these Israelites, these so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. We ain't gonna really hit you with nothing hard anyway, and we'll come up with all the excuses in the world. You know what I'm saying? Had they, I don't know if they found any drugs or not, but had they, probably would have found some drugs in that. What's this guy's name? Both them jeans, DNA. All right, what the fuck was they gonna say then? Well, he was on cocaine at the time when he got shot. Well, he was on marijuana at the time when he got. What the fuck did that have to do with him getting shot? Nobody called the police on him and say, yeah, there's some deranged man upstairs. He on some cocaine and he going wild, sound like he killing his wife up there. That would have been a different story. But no, there was nobody called the police on this dude. He was in there minding his own fucking business. Had that police officer would have still been on duty, or she would have been out of town on vacation somewhere, you know what I'm saying? That shit wouldn't have went down that way. But nevertheless, because, let me read it again. Verse Ecclesiastes 8 and 11. Because sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily, therefore the hearts of the sons of men is fully set in them to do evil. All right, so this is the message that's being sent out to these Edomites, man. Fucking go ahead and turn up on these niggas, man. I mean, he ain't gonna really get nothing wrong with you anyway. You know, if you happen to kill a goddamn nigga at the job, you know what I'm saying, why you as a police officer, if you wind up killing a nigga at the job, listen, matter of fact, you'll come out better off on top, motherfucker. You want to raise, go kill a nigga, unarmed nigga at the job. This is how it's gonna go down. We're gonna investigate your ass. We'll say so on and so forth. We'll try to protect you as much as possible when it comes to the media. We're gonna put your ass on administrative leave. We're gonna give you probably, as long as the investigation, whether it's 2 years or whatever, whatnot, you're gonna be on basically paid vacation. You're gonna still get your paycheck as if you was working, but you're not gonna be able to come into work. So you're gonna just be basically on vacation, still getting paid as you did work, man. Imagine your regular job like that. You work somewhere, you know, a restaurant. Let's just say you work at a restaurant, and you happen to drop a goddamn tray full of drinks on a customer, and people at work tell you, you know what? You just go home for the rest of the day. You know what I'm saying? Take some days off. Matter of fact, you suspend it. We're gonna need you to stay home for about a week, but we're gonna pay you. What the fuck would be the incentive of really doing anything good? People like, shit, be a free vacation. We tired of working. You overworking us anyway. We're gonna just go ahead. You know, all this overtime is killing me. I slipped and fell too many times and dropped the tray. Now they paying me to be off of work. Most people don't like losing work because, wow, that's losing a paycheck. All right, but what? For these police officers, you wind up coming up good if you goddamn kill a nigga at work, man. You goddamn get paid administrative leave, and then if the heat get too much with the media where you at, you get moved to another department, different department, and you got the same goddamn job. You still right back out on the force doing the same ass shit. You know, you got these white supremacists that'll come up with a goddamn GoFundMe account for your ass, raise maybe 2, 3, 4, 5 million for your ass. You know, you go from making 60, 70,000 a year to now you got a fucking $4 or $5 million check because these white supremacists feel bad for you and your family because you didn't went and killed Jake. Now they got your business on the news and shit like that, and you on paid vacation basically. So they raise up like $4 or $5 million for your ass, and then you get a book contract and a movie contract. And you become a celebrity. And so now you ain't even really got to work no more. You just go to work, go kill a nigga, and then you come up real, you know, you come up off top, you know? And they just let you walk free after that, man. All right? But because, let me read it again. Ecclesiastes 8 and 11, because the sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily. Therefore, the hearts of the sons of men is fully set to do, Therefore, the hearts of the sons of men is fully set in them to do evil. All right? So, well, let me read the next verse. It says, or the next two verses. It says, though the sinner do evil 100 times and his days be prolonged, yet surely I know that it will be well with them that fear the Most High, which fear before him. But it shall not be well with the wicked, neither shall he prolong his days, which are as a shadow, because he feareth not the Most High. All right, because ultimately Esau is about to be cut off, and we actually living in the times where the curses are falling upon Esau as we speak. All right. Matter of fact, because I just quoted this, let me grab 1 or 2 more scriptures, and I'm gonna close out after that. This is Ezekiel, what is it, 35 and 10. No, 35 and 5. It says, because, Ezekiel 35 and 5, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword, in the time of their calamity, and the time of their iniquity had an end. That time is talking about predominantly now, after so-called the Emancipation and Proclamation, right? After we were so-called freed from slavery, this is where the majority of these atrocities happened to us. The lynchings, the barbecues, the picnics, cutting off our penises and sending them to each other in jars and shit, feeding our babies to alligator bait and all this kind of shit, gunning us down with the police departments. All these things really started taking off after the Emancipation and Proclamation, after so-called slavery ended. All right. So let me read that again. All right. It says, because thou hast had, Ezekiel 35 and 5, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred, an everlasting hatred. We read in Genesis 27 and 40, all right, about how Esau said in his heart that he was going to slay his brother, man. All right. And how he does comfort himself killing his brother. That's how he was going to basically get his rocks off, by putting his brother to death. And that's what he's been doing ever since Isaac was on his deathbed, even into this same very day today. And this is what you're looking at with the police brutality, police lying and stuffing drugs and writing false tickets and just fucking people over all kind of ways, or just killing unarmed Jake, man. Armed or unarmed Jake, whether they be, and most of the time they ain't really doing nothing carnally against the so-called law that warrants any of these things happening, But ultimately, we all understand that, who has perished being innocent, according to the scriptures. But nevertheless, it says in Ezekiel 35 and 5 again, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and has shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword. See, Esau was going to live by that sword, and this is the way that a lot of you Jakes are dying at the hands of these Edomites, at the hands of guns, They say, oh, gun violence is plaguing the so-called black community. Well, it is, but at the hands of the so-called white man. All right. It says, and has shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end. All right. Verse 6. Therefore, as I live, saith Yahweh, power will I prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. And since thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee. And I will make Mount Seir most desolate, and cut off from it him that passeth out, and him that returneth. All right. Oh, shit. Let me keep going. And I will fill his mountains with his slain men, and his hills and the valleys, and in all thy rivers shall they fall that are slain with the sword. So the Most High is going to recompense these Edomites, all right, for all the damage and all the wickedness that they've done into the children of Israel. All right. Let me grab one more. I'm going to close out here in the book of Obadiah. I believe it's 1 and 10. This is Obadiah 1 and 10. It says, For thy violence against our brother Jacob. All right, first of all, let me go up to the top. This is Obadiah 101, the vision of Obadiah. Thus saith Yahawah power concerning Edom. All right, so this is being addressed to Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. All right, now let me jump back down to verse 10. This is Obadiah 1 and 10. For thy violence against our brother Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. All right, and so this is going to be ultimately the judgment for Esau, Edom. You know, even though their day is being so-called prolonged right now, their kingdom is actually falling as we speak, man. Their population, their population growth rate is declining, man. Their mortality rate is basically on a decline, man. All right, they're not really living as long as they used to be, and they're also dying off a lot faster than they used to be because of all the drug epidemic, suicides, depression. All right, and less of them are being born at this point in time, man. It's an all-out decline on Edomite lives as we speak, man. So for it seems like for every one of us that they shooting down, the Most High is putting like 1,000 of them to death, man. Whether it be by suicides, wars, famines, all kind of different things, man. They just dying off left and right. Plus the fact that they not really having too many babies. All right, but nevertheless, I'm gonna go ahead and close out with this. This went on, way longer than I expected. But nevertheless, I just wanted to bring out this here point. This is, multiple things going on at one time, man. The Most High is bringing out judgment. All right, especially for a lot of our people. And I don't know what these people was really into or whatever, whatnot. But look, could be a scenario where these people thought that the so-called white man was a buddy. They was all friendly, and they probably called the police a lot. The woman who was just recently shot, man, she could have been using the governmental system against her husband, her man, or whatever, whatnot. To hold him down or whatever, whatnot. And that same system that she depended on, came back to wind up killing her. Now I'm not saying that's what happened, but I'm just using this as an example. All right, for the rest of our people, because you got 2/3 of our people that keep cleaving unto the so-called white man. But as the scriptures say, though hand join in hand, the wicked shall not go unpunished. All right, so you're not going to get away with this. You want to keep cleaving into the so-called white man, you're going to wind up dying right there with him, man. All right, and ultimately, the Most High is really putting the spirit on Esau to really show his true horns, all right, and his true hatred towards you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. And ultimately, the devil's coming down into you having great wrath, and he's trying to put your ass to death because this is his ultimate plan. His ultimate goal is to exterminate the Israelites, man. All right. Yeah, and with that, I'm going to go aheund and close out. Lord willing, this here lesson was edifying unto the elect. Until next time, I say, call halal YAHAWAH, BAHASHIM, YAHAWASHI, BAHASHIM, RUCHAKWADASH. Double honors to the apostles and the elders of Great Millstone that taught us this truth and that rule well. And salutation and much love for you. I can pushing this truth and sincerity on the four corners of the earth and enduring afflictions to feed and edify the elect. Until next time, I say, stay strong and shalom.